made it up to AAA at the end of that year. Kind of had a chance, outside chance of getting called up at the end of that year, but didn't happen. Repeated AAA the next year, had some really good months, a couple bad outings here and there, but was kind of just hoping for that call. And one day I woke up and I missed 65 FaceTimes from my minor league manager. And I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do? I put my phone under my laptop and it was on silent. So I messed up big time, but he was like, hey, where the heck you been? Okay, well, you're not starting for me tonight. You're starting against the Mariners tomorrow for the big league team. And I look at my wife and she's like bawling in the bed and I'm just tearing up, call everybody. I remember calling my dad and being like, hey, I'm getting called up to the big leagues. It's awesome. I'm starting in Seattle. Try to get there if you can. You can't tell anybody because it was still like, they didn't want to get the news out. And my dad was like, I can't tell anybody. What? My dad like loves telling people about baseball stuff. So that was a really funny call.
I mean, you talked about getting called up. That sounded awfully special. Would you say that that's your favorite major league moment thus far, or do you have anything else that sticks out? Fan favorite question, so I have to ask.
Yeah. So in terms of the personal moment, there was a game in like May of 2018 where starter went down and I was in the bullpen kind of as the long guy. He went down after like 2 or 3 batters. Wade Miley hurt his oblique, and I was able to go in there, leave his runs off the board, pitch like 5 innings, and I hit a home run, which actually ended up being the game-winning home run off Corey Kluber. So it was just one of those like dream nights where I was like, did that even happen? Woke up the next morning like, was that a dream kind of thing? I've also had the opposite end where I woke up was like, was that a nightmare? But that was a dream, a good dream. And that was probably my favorite like personal moment. Pitching down the stretch in 19, there were some fun games and all that. And last year until the end was some good games down the stretch. But that moment in May was like just one of those dream moments. I felt like a little kid again.
That's great.
It was the first pitch of the inning, and you're not supposed to swing at that as a pitcher, but I just saw it up and put the bat to the ball, and I didn't feel it off the bat, and it just kept going. And so it was a really cool moment, really fun.
That's great. So did you study ESPP at Harvard?
Yes. Yep.
Environmental science and public policy, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so is that how you first kind of became involved in kind of making people more aware of the environment and how you became passionate about it, or was it something that started before that?
It was probably watching An Inconvenient Truth in 2006. My mom rented it from the library or something. We watched it. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? These problems are big time, and I want to do something about it. So from then on, it was on my heart to be, an ambassador and to learn about these issues and to try to do something about it. So I knew I wanted to study it in college. Harvard had the perfect major for me. And then being a baseball player, I've just tried to kind of spread the messaging and awareness and doing some cleanups, some campaigns and all that to try to get people and corporations to behave a little bit more environmentally responsibly. So just trying to use the platform in that way for sure. Use it for other issues as well that are really pressing on our nation, but environmental awareness and just urgency is top of the list.
Yeah, I mean, that's extended to supporting different policy positions, right, and other things publicly. Whether it's the Energy Innovation and Carbon Dividend Act or other types of things. I'm curious, like when you talk to teammates about this kind of stuff, like how are you often like? Are you playing kind of like an nights? Are you trying to convince them to kind of support these causes? I'm just curious what the process is like being in a clubhouse.
Yeah. So you got to hit them with some facts, tell them what the urgency level is and all that. So I kind of like say, hey, this is going on, but here's what we can do to help it. So I try to like have a hopeful tone about it and try not to judge or condemn or anything bad behavior. I just try to, lead by example, always using a reusable bottle, Tupperware, like trying to take shorter showers, all that stuff, eat way less meat. And then do some other dietary stuff where people take notice, like, oh, you're not eating this, not eating that. Like, no, I'm eating chicken, turkey, and all veggies and fruits at this point, and trying to limit the chicken and turkey as much as I can. But and doing, driving an electric car, doing solar panels on the house and all that, trying and get people asking questions because of your actions. So like showing the actions and getting them curious is one of the better ways to do it, I think. And get some conversations going. Guys start getting curious. Of worked with Players for the Planet and Eco Athletes, and getting some guys on board with those organizations. It's been great. And then SC Johnson's partnering with Milwaukee Brewers, doing some upcycling campaigns and some environmental education campaigns, and I'm part of that, which is really cool. And then launched like a strikeout waste campaign a couple years ago, encouraging teammates, fans, coaches to use reusable bottles. Got like 300 bottles shipped in from companies that were just like, hey, take ours. It was really cool. And then launched Sideline and Carbon, trying to offset carbon emissions for team travel. We're still working on getting some teams, but I love the idea about it. We've got the stuff in place, so we just need to get more teams on board. But trying to get 50% of emissions cut or offset by 2025 of all sports teams. So it's a lofty goal, but hopefully we can do it.
That's of all travel that sports teams take to like on their charters, et cetera.
Bus, plane flights, all that stuff.